Soundstripe.
All right, kiddo, sit closer. Let me tell you a story, not some made-up fairy tale, but something real. Something that happened to me and to this family. You ready? This happened back when your dad and aunt were just little kids. We lived in an old house that had been passed down from my father. It was small but cozy, though I'll admit, a bit creaky and dark in the corners. We weren't rich, but we always had enough. At least until that one year when everything changed. At first, it was little things. A spoon would disappear, then show up in the strangest place. Bread would go stale overnight. Doors to the pantry would creak open on their own. The kids started saying they heard whispering in the corners. I thought it was just their imagination. But things kept getting worse. The chickens stopped laying eggs, the goat got sick, and no matter how much we tried to save, our money just seemed to vanish. Your grandma and I started arguing more, blaming each other for everything. She said I was wasting what little we had, and I thought she wasn't managing things right. The tension in the house was thick, and then one night, I saw it. I was sitting up late by the fire, thinking about what could possibly be going wrong. The house was quiet to quiet, and then I heard it, a faint rustling from the dark corner near the stove. I squinted, and that's when I saw them. There were 4 of them, small, scrawny creatures, hunched over like old beggars. Their arms were so long they nearly dragged on the ground, and their fingers were thin and bony, like the claws of some dead bird. Their eyes, they weren't eyes at all, just black, empty pits. They were muttering to each other in low, scratchy voices, sorting through bits of crumbs, and then one of them turned to me. It didn't speak, not with its mouth, but I heard it, like it was talking straight into my mind. This is our house now. You can't get rid of us. I froze. Couldn't move, couldn't even breathe. The next thing I knew, it was morning. When I told your grandma, she turned pale and whispered just one word, Zlydni. Our neighbor told us to go see old Nastya, a healer who lived in the next village. Everyone said she knew things about curses, about spirits, about whatever else was out there. We didn't have a choice, so we went to her. The moment I told her what I'd seen, she nodded grimly. Zlydni, she said, they're bad luck come to life. They suck the life out of your house, your money, your food, your peace, but they don't come for no reason. They're drawn to chaos, fights, greed, clutter, things left broken and forgotten. If they've settled in, it's going to be hard to make them leave. I asked her what we could do. She gave me this long look and said, you have to outsmart them, gather up everything old, broken, or unused in your house, things they might cling to. Take a clay pot, fill it with scraps of food, a crust of bread, a pinch of salt, and a copper coin. But listen closely. When you take that pot out of the house, you mustn't speak or look back. No matter what you hear, leave it at a crossroads or near a swamp. If they follow it, you'll be free. But if they don't, well, you'll have to try again. So we did it. We gathered everything. We didn't need broken tools, old rags, even a wobbly stool that had been sitting in the corner for years. We packed the pot as she said and carried it out at night. And let me tell you, it wasn't easy. On the way to the swamp, I could feel them behind us. I could hear their whispers, their nails scraping on the cart. One of them hissed right in my ear, don't leave us, we belong here. But I didn't look back. I didn't say a word. When we came home, the house was quiet for the first time in months. But that peace didn't last. The next night, they were back. I woke up to the sound of their laughter, low and cruel. They were sitting near the door, eating crumbs off the floor like rats. We tried again and again. Each time, it felt like they were getting angrier. They'd knock over pots, tear up the bedding, even scratch at the walls. But old Nastya told us not to give up. The 4th time, we did something different. We burned sage and scattered salt in every corner of the house. Then, as we carried the pot out, we left a piece of iron at the crossroads, like Nastya had told us. She said iron was one of the few things they feared. That night, they didn't come back. The house felt lighter, like some invisible weight had been lifted. We never saw them again. So, kiddo, let this be a lesson to you. Keep your house in order. Don't let clutter pile up, don't fight with your family, and don't let bad habits take root. Because if you do, the Zlydni might come knocking, and believe me, you don't want that.